Hello everyone, my name is Jeff Young and welcome to Management 4485, Wage and Salary Administration, a course offered by St. Mary's University through its Brightspace platform for July-August 2018. I wanted to have this brief video just to introduce myself to you and just to hit on some highlights of the syllabus. We really have to get going very quickly in this course. It is summer school. We're starting on a Wednesday, so our first weekend's on that next Sunday, and then we move along. So we should get started very, very quickly. First of all, I would like you to read the syllabus. The syllabus is available to you on the course site under Brightspace, and across the top of the course site you will see the word content, and click on that content tab and you will see a number of items unfold on the left of the screen. You'll find the syllabus there. Please read it. I'm always very surprised to learn that so many people do not read the syllabus until halfway through the course or what have you. In any event, we move along. Should you need to contact me, you have lots of options. First of all, you can email me. If you prefer to speak with me, you can call me at home. My home phone number is listed on the course syllabus. I also have some office hours in person, Monday and Wednesday evenings from 4:45 to 5:15. And we have an online Collaborate session on Tuesday evenings from 5 to 6. That is not a class. That is just an online office hours session. So if you wish to contact me between 5 and 6 on Tuesday evenings, you can go into Brightspace and go to the course site and click on the Ultra Collaborate icon up in the, or the tab up in the bar that runs across the top of the course, and then just follow the directions. A number of people have contacted me there from time to time during different courses that I have taught on Brightspace. So, number of program and course goals and objectives and so on, those are pretty straightforward. Please read those in the syllabus. I don't need to reiterate those here. What I did want to talk about was the fact that this course operates online. And we'll talk about some issues related to groups and assignments and discussions and a term report shortly. But the course operates on Brightspace. It doesn't operate on Twitter or Snapchat or whatever. Okay? So it seems almost every term somebody in the class sends a message to everyone and says, oh, let's do this on Facebook, or let's do this, and please don't do that. I do not monitor that material. I can't monitor that material. The course is set up in such a way that it operates through St. Mary's, through Brightspace, and everything is available for you there, and everything is available for me as well. So please stick with the course tools that you have. Okay, now having said that, in line with that is the notion of email. Although I have everyone's individual email, I'm not permitted to give those out, nor do I want to, so please don't ask. Operate within the Brightspace system. But what happens is I send announcements. Now those get posted on the front page of the course site. I also return assignments to groups through the Brightspace system. Eventually those announcements and assignments make their way to you through the email system, as well as being posted on the course site. So please make sure that you have updated your email address in the St. Mary's system. If you've changed your email address, and make sure that the current email address that you are using is the one that St. Mary's University has on file for you. If you don't do that, announcements, assignments will be getting sent to an email address that you perhaps never check, or may not even be functioning properly. So please check that. Related to the 2 points above that we just discussed is the notion of in-person meetings. This is an online course, and there's no real requirement for in-person meetings. If you're all on campus and you want to have a meeting on, that's up to you. But things are set up in such a way that you can operate alone, if I may put it in those terms, but with your group. Okay? So you can partake in group discussions, group activities, and so on, but you can do so online. There is no need to meet in person. And in fact, in some instances, given where people are located, it's simply impossible. Okay. Please read the syllabus. I don't know if I mentioned that earlier. Probably did. Read the syllabus. And if there are some things that you think are missing or inaccurate, or if they're not clear, please contact me right away and we'll straighten it out. But you really have to read the syllabus. Thank you. Okay. Our course is built around the 5th Canadian edition of the Milkovich et al. Text. Get a little, bring this into the picture a little bit. This is it. It's a very good textbook, and it's available to you at St. Mary's Bookstore. More than 90% of what we're doing is in that textbook. So the textbook is really vital if you plan on preparing well for the midterm and the final exam, and participating in the exercises and cases that are there for discussion and or assignment. So I wanted to talk a bit about the assignments and the discussions and the term report, and we'll touch base on the midterm and the final. First of all, you will be assigned to a group. We usually have about 40 students, 8 groups. You're going to have 5, maybe 6, maybe 4 in the longer run in your group. Okay? So you will be connected electronically, and you will have on Brightspace in this course site an initial forum where you can go and you can introduce yourself, and you can use that forum site for planning. We need to discuss the term report, fine, you can do that, or you want to talk about other things, you can just use that site. The planning and the introduction and planning forum, I don't monitor, so you can go and have whatever discussion you want. It will be just like going to Tim Hortons after class. I'm not going to be sitting at the table with you. You're just going to have a discussion among yourselves, but I generally do not monitor that particular site. Now, we will monitor all the other sites, but not that planning and forum one. But please use it for at least introductions, and you can use it for planning your term's work if you wish. Then, what you will see under the assessments tab is this planning forum, but you will also see that we have 8 assignments and 7 discussions, and there will be a separate location for group 1 to hold its assignment discussion, and then there will be a separate location for group 1 to hold its first discussion. And then when we move into week 2, group 1 will also have its own private, separate place to discuss assignment 2, and then it will also have its own separate, private place to discuss discussion number 2. Okay? So other groups cannot or should not be able to come into your own space. It's just kind of a private space for you. I do monitor the discussion and assignment spaces, so please be aware of that. I have to for participation purposes and so on and so forth. All right, so the assignment. Now, basically, you're in a group and you're going to have to do an assignment, 8 of them throughout the term this summer. What you should do as part of your introduction and planning discussions is you should determine who's going to be the team leader, or what I call the TL, for any particular assignment. The role of the team leader is to perhaps initiate some comments in the appropriate assignment forum, and then other team members should be commenting. They should be providing their answers. The role of the TL is to pull together various and sundry comments and contributions from the group members into one cohesive answer. And that answer then gets submitted on behalf of the team. The role of the TL is not to produce a list of John said this, Susan said that, Linda said the other, Ahmad said this. That's not the purpose. The purpose in having a TL is to have the TL pull things together into one meaningful answer on behalf, and submit it on behalf of the group. And submission requirements are there. You will find all your assignments and so on, all very clear. You can go in through the syllabus and read them. You can go in through the assessments tab and find all your discussion and assignment and your planning forms. They're all there, okay? Click on assessments. I think that's right next to the content tab when you go into the initial course site. So you're going to have a discussion among yourselves, and the job of TL is meant to rotate a little bit. Everybody should have at least one turn as the team leader. It's not intended that the team leader will simply write the answer and submit on behalf of the group without contributions from other people. Okay? It is indeed intended that everybody in the group contribute to the answer. The team leader can produce a draft, send it back to, or repost it. People can read it and make comments and so on and so forth. Now, typically, with the exception of the last assignment, typically assignments are due to me by 11 p.m. on Sunday evenings. So, you need to give the team leader some time to finish and submit the assignment. The team leader should be setting a schedule for the first, whoever's team leader for the first assignment should set a schedule. Say, please have your answers to me by 9 p.m. on Friday evening. I'll post an initial draft by Saturday afternoon. Please have your comments to me by 10 a.m. Sunday morning, and I will then make any revisions and finalize the document and submit it. And there is a Dropbox, and you can find that under assessments. It's all very clear, I think, in terms of this system. What we run into from time to time is people who either don't follow or don't care enough, and they think that if they send their answers to the group by 5 to 11 on Sunday night that they've done their part. Well, I don't think that's particularly fair. It doesn't help the team. It doesn't help the team leader. The deadline of 11 o'clock on Sunday evening is my deadline for you to submit. So I think we ought to show some courtesy and respect for the team leader who is trying to work on behalf of the team. And I think we should try to post answers and contributions to team assignments earlier in the week, middle of the week, perhaps, get them rolling. So please work with your TL. And just because the TL is submitting the answer does not mean it's not a group effort. So other people should be reading the draft of the submission. I insist that things be written well. If they're not written well, you will lose points. So please be sure to pay attention to spelling and grammar. Please be sure to give yourselves lots of time. So please read the syllabus. You'll perhaps find a little more discussion of the role of the TL and so on. By and large, it works fine, I must say. Most groups settle in. TL handles the first assignment, and away we go. So there will be 8 assignments. Now, there are 17 discussions. And again, each group will have its own site for each discussion. Generally, it's a little case. In some instances, it's an exercise or some questions. And what you're required to do here, for example, let's look at team discussion number 1. I'm posting a case. I'm asking you to read the case, and I'm just asking you to discuss the case in terms of issues raised in Chapter 1. Now, what's in Chapter 1 that helps you understand and talk about what's going on in this particular case? You go to the discussion forum for discussion number 1, and you make what's called an initial post. You just click on Start a New Thread, say, this is John's post, and then you make a few comments. I'm only asking for a few sentences. You don't have to discuss the case in terms of everything in Chapter 1. Chapter 1's fairly brief anyway, but think about some of the issues that help you analyze that case. And then if Linda's in this group, then Linda starts a new thread and makes her initial post. Please do not put your initial post in as a reply to someone else. Create a new thread for your own initial post. Now, what happens here is if you make your initial post in the first discussion, you get 3 points, so to speak. Now, what I'm asking you to do is then reply to any 2 other initial posts or others' replies. Once you've made your initial post, you've got 3. You make those 2 other replies to other people's comments. Don't just say, I like your point, or I agree with your point. Say why you like it, or why you agree, or why you don't like it, or why you disagree. Or if you want to add something to somebody's, that's fine. The replies don't have to be long, a sentence or 2. Now, you make your initial post, 3. You make the 2 replies, that's 5. So, I just simply go in and monitor these, see who said what, and at the end of the first week, I will give people their participation points. If you made an initial post and 2 replies, you get 5 out of 5. If you've only made an initial post, you get 3 out of 5. If you haven't done anything, you get 0 out of 5. Now, there are 7 discussions. So, let's assume that somebody goes in each week and makes an initial post and then makes 2 replies for each of those 7 weeks. That person gets 35 out of 35. So that's 100% of the weekly individual participation of 15%. So that person will get 15. It's 15 easy points, but the discussions are tied quite nicely to the textbook. So while you're engaging in these discussions, you're having to read the text and think about text issues. So in a way, you're prepping for the midterm and the final as well, sort of inadvertently, if I may put it that way. Now, if you're someone who just comes in and makes an initial post and you do that 7 times, you're going to get 7 times 3 is 21. 21 out of 35, which is about 65, and which is about 60%. So you will get 60% of 15, which is 9 out of 15. So Again, please read the syllabus. There's a little more detail there. I think I forgot to mention, but I will quickly. The team assignments are worth 15% in total. So I mark each one weekly out of 100, and then I'll just take an average at the end of the term and multiply that by that percentage, average percentage, by 15. Now, the thing is, if you do not contribute to an assignment and the team leader doesn't put your name on that assignment, then you're going to get 0. And so please don't come to me the week after and say, well, whatever, because there's nothing I can do. You're in the course. Please get going early. Get in online, have a look around at how the system's working, and start to contribute to the assignments and to the discussions. Okay, we have a team report, and the team report is asking you to write a report on CEO compensation. It's always a bit of a hot topic. There's some mention of it in your text. But I've listed, 4 or 5 items there with some subparts that you should cover at the very least in this report. It's kind of like a group term paper. So please do not over-rely on your textbook for reference material here. I want you to go online. I want you to use the academic and professional sources. St. Mary's University has a terrific library. It has wonderful sources of academic and professional information. So please go look through that material. Go talk to the librarian to get some help if you need it. You can give me a shout if you need some help getting started, or if there are some particular issues. I'll do the best I can to help you. I think I've asked for a report that's about 8 to 10 pages, stem to stern. So title page, table of contents, reference list, whatever. And in the middle there should be, 6 or 8 pages of meat. That's the heart and soul of your paper that discusses CEO compensation issues. Excuse me. Sorry. Okay. Again, read the syllabus, please. Now, apart from that, and there will be a TL for the term report too, which is going to be a bit bigger job than a weekly assignment. So you might want to think about that in your discussions. The team report is worth 20%. Okay, after that we have 2 other items. We have a midterm exam and we have a final exam. Now, the midterm exam is going to be a multiple choice affair. You're going to have about 60 items, give or take. I'll talk some more about this when we get closer to the time, but the midterm test will definitely be based on chapters 1, 2, 3, and 4. It will be entirely multiple choice. It's going to be about 60 questions. You'll have 75 minutes to complete the test. The test will be online. The midterm test will be online, and you can go in and click on the assessments and you'll find the quiz and so on and so forth. I will send you a reminder. Now, typically what I do is I make the test available to you starting at 8 a.m. on Monday. It will be July 23rd, and I'll make it available to you for 72 hours. So you can go in at your own convenience. It's just online, so you can write it on the bus, at home, in Tim Hortons, wherever you want to write it. Yeah. However, you have to be very careful. Make sure that you've got a stable Wi-Fi setup. Okay? But go in, do the test. There's no proctor involved. Just go in and do the test online, submit it, move along. You do not need a proctor. Okay? But the point is, once you go into the test site, you must complete it. Complete the test. Don't go in and say, oh, well, I've done the first 30 questions. I'll come back in tomorrow afternoon and finish it then. That won't work. You only have permission to enter the test site once. Once you're in, you're in. And then complete it. 75 minutes is lots of time for 60 multiple choice items. So please make sure that you complete the test. Now, despite the fact that we discussed the test here, despite the fact that it's on the course syllabus, despite the fact that I send some reminders and so on and so forth, it seems literally every time I have taught an online course, someone forgets to write the midterm. So please, don't forget. Write the midterm. Yeah? It's a good prep for the final exam. The final exam will go from chapter 5 to 13 inclusive, and the types of questions that you will see on the midterm will be the same kinds of questions that you see on the final exam. So again, you don't need a proctor. It's only worth 8%, but it's done entirely online, and you can do it at your convenience. You only have 75 minutes, so if you're going to leave it to the very last morning, make sure that you log in early enough to get your 75 minutes if you need that much time. It will close at 8 o'clock, I believe, on the Thursday morning of the week of July 23rd, whatever that Thursday is. Okay, the final exam. Now, first of all, we generally have two groups here. One group is made up of those folks who are taking the course literally at a distance, and they're in Toronto or Labrador or Calgary. They've been in the United States, elsewhere around the world, China. And those folks will write the test at a distance. Okay? Those folks, and if you're one of them, you have to make your own arrangements for a proctor. If you go into the course syllabus, you will see a link. Click on that link and make sure that you complete and submit those documents so that proctor arrangements can be finalized and exams delivered and so on and so forth. Please understand, despite what it says in various places, I really don't have anything to do with the administration, the management of the exams. That process is managed by some good folks at St. Mary's, and they connect with proctors and so on and so forth, or you've got a connection for a proctor, you work that out with them. Okay? I deliver the exam, and St. Mary's handles it from there. Okay? So, the second group is the group who live within the 100-kilometer zone around St. Mary's. If you're within that zone, living and taking the course, then you will have to come to St. Mary's to take the exam. Okay? Now, the exam that's at St. Mary's, I've got paper all over the place here. The exam that's at St. Mary's will be proctored by me. It will not be an online exam. It will be a paper and pencil exam. And you will come to a classroom at St. Mary's. I haven't booked that room yet, but I will. You can write the final exam on Wednesday, June 22nd. You can write at 9:30 to 12:30, or you can write at 5:30 to 8:30 on the same Wednesday, one or the other there. Okay? And if you're outside the 100-kilometer zone, please make your arrangements with St. Mary's University for your proctor. Now, week one will be upon us before we know it. Week one doesn't start until Wednesday, but within that Wednesday to Sunday time period for week one, there is one discussion and there is one assignment. So both of those are going to be due at the end of week 1. So we get into things very quickly and things move very quickly thereafter. So please read the course syllabus. If at any time you need some help from me, please phone me, please send me an email, please give me your name, the course number, the course name, and then give me a question, okay? Or tell me what the issue is. Sometimes I get bizarre messages from people and I have no idea what they want. So please just craft a question or indicate your situation, and we'll get it resolved. So please feel free to contact me. So thank you very much, and please be sure to read the syllabus. Thank you.